Good evening. My name is Brian Rushi, and I'm a master's degree candidate in the organizational leadership with Colorado Christian University. Tonight I'm going to present my final paper, Focus on Leadership, 3 stories from Leaders of Excellence for the LEDS 511 class. So let's get started. First, let's define leadership. From the text, Organizational Behavior, Tools for Success, transformational leadership is defined as leadership that inspires followers to adopt the values and goals of the leader and to put aside their own self-interest for the good of the organizational. Transactional leadership is leadership based on a reciprocal exchange of something of value. And lastly, ethical leadership, as defined by Phillips and Gully, is the demonstration of normatively appropriate conduct through personal actions and interpersonal relationships, and the promotion of such conduct to followers through two-way communication, reinforcement, and decision-making. Some leadership insights from our other text, Meeting the Ethical Challenges of Leadership, Casting Light and Shadow by Johnson. Social learning theory is based on the premise that people learn by observing and then emulating the values, attitudes, and behaviors of people they find legitimate, attractive, and credible. Viewing leadership as a role should put to rest the notion that leaders are born, not made. So now I want to highlight 3 leaders in our community that I spoke with. First is Bill Wade. Bill and I work together on the board for Homeward Bound of the Grand Valley, which is the largest homeless shelter between Denver and Salt Lake City. Bill is a retired executive and had a number of mentors during his career, including Paul Willax, CEO of Empire of America. He taught Bill the principle of management by walking around, essentially learning what the people in the organization do and what it is that you're to help them do as a manager. He stated that you are only as good as the people that you work for, that is Paul to Bill. Later in his career, Bill worked for Kevin Crowe, CEO of Essex Corporation. And his principles were, don't bring me problems, bring me solutions. His organization found ways to instill and recognize loyalty through a share program called growth participation units, where folks ended up with shares or portions of the company's profits. Bill's core values, as described in my paper, include personalized interactions, the training up of successors and others, and giving back to the community with passion. Second, I interviewed my pastor, Adrian DeLange, New Life Christian Reformed Church of Grand Junction. He stated that the world is created for a relationship with God and humanity, and his worldview is to cast a vision and invite people to come along. For him, important mentoring relationships include being mentored by somebody, mentoring someone else, and establishing peer mentorship or accountability partners. Adrian has some core values, including leading people to a relationship with God, as well as authentic interactions and relationships. Lastly, I interviewed Tony Azam. Tony is an entrepreneur here in Grand Junction, the owner of Freeway Bowl, and that's where my wife works as the bar manager. And Tony is an entrepreneur at heart, but his business culture is service. All we do is serve others, he says. It's all about caring for other human beings. And he also shared with me that as a leader, you don't always have to lead, you can follow. His core values through his business include customer focus, gaining life lessons and imparting them upon employees, and honesty and trust. So, final thoughts after preparing this research. I believe that leadership is a process, and that process requires constant learning and focused application. And so for me, the takeaway is Hebrews chapter 12, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. I appreciate the opportunity to put this information together, the opportunity to get to know some leaders in my community, and the opportunity to learn from the coursework here at Colorado Christian University. Thank you for your time.